Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. This video today is on a 2007 Jaguar X-Type with the 3-liter petrol. I believe this is a V6, and this car came to me because I was told that the engine light was on and was a problem with the throttle body. I think the guy took the car elsewhere and they told him that. Anyway, there is a little bit of backstory with this car, because I had this car here back in December. It's now February, end of February now, and I had the car here beginning of December. And when I had the car here at that time, the car came with an issue with the throttle body. It was a fault for the throttle body. And when I went to do my checks, I went to the throttle body, and as I was just inspecting around, I've noticed that the throttle body cover was somehow a little bit not in the right position, and as soon as I touched it, it fell off. So basically, someone before that, has been obviously opening the throttle body. I don't know what they did. So at that time, this was back in December, I told the guy, look, I'm not going to do anything else. You're going to have to get a throttle body. I don't know what was done. I'm not going to be here wasting my time. So I gave him two options: a new throttle body, which was about 250 quid or somewhere around those numbers. And I gave him the option for a second hand, which I got him from eBay for 50 quid. Although I said to him, look, second hand is second hand. There's always a little bit of a gamble, but he decided to go for it. So we got a second hand, I put it in place, and I said to him, look, you're gonna have to drive now and see what happens. Now, the only code that was left at the time, and anyone familiar with Jaguars will know that this code, you can only delete this code with SSD. Or with the actually Jaguar software, which I don't have. Never really got bothered to get it, because I don't do many Jaguars, to be honest with you. I think this is probably the second one I work on or something like that. So it never really bothered me to get that. But at the time when I first got the car back in December, was another code in there, something to do with the throttle body. So anyway, we got that replaced. The guy drove away. No problems at all, and he rang me last week saying that the engine light came on again for the throttle body. So okay, that's weird. Then it might be that's why someone else was trying to open the throttle body in first place. So I asked him to bring me the car, and the car came with the engine light off and only that code. So I literally just rang him, and he said he took the car elsewhere. He saw the code for the throttle body. The guy in there deleted the code, and obviously now I'm working with no codes. But what we're gonna do is we are gonna go for a drive. I'm going to try to make that code come back, so I can actually see if when the code comes back, if the car goes like in limp mode or something like. I want to see the behavior of the car when the engine light comes on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for a drive and see what happens. Okay, and this is afternoon now. I'm starting to get a little bit tired of this car. Right, so I went for a drive. You've seen was no petrol. I had to put some petrol. I went for a drive, drove the car for about half an hour, all sort of driving styles, putting a little bit hard, cruising a little bit. I could not make the lights come on. Now, what I've noticed is the car tends to sort of like, how to put it across. It was like it was jittering a little bit on some gear changes, and but I could not make the lights come back on. So I drove and drove, came home. I couldn't make the lights come back on. I rang the guy and I told him, look, light doesn't come on. Come and take the car, and you bring me the car once the light is on. He came pick up the car. Within 20 minutes he was back, and he actually showed me the light was not actually on, was flashing. And I said, okay, leave the car here now. Now there's going to be some codes logged on the ECU, and I will have a look. I've just scanned the car. and I wanted to see what the problems, what the fault codes are. And the first thing is nothing to do with the throttle body. Let me show you this. So this is my codes. Start from the top. So I still have that fly recorder. I won't be able to delete that, only with the STD. But look then after that. And I think the problem for my light, if I might be wrong, is going to be all these misfires, all these misfire codes. All these misfires are cylinder 1, 3 and 5. All these cylinders are on bank 1. So something is causing bank 1 to misfire, and we're going to have to find out what that is. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to have to think a little bit how I'm going to approach this and see if I can resolve this. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is I want to look at some live data, see if there's anything here that straight away points to a problem. So let me see, airflow 4 grams per second, VC, that's fine. Not sure what that meter ground would mean, but so it looks okay. Let me see if I have. So I'm idling at the moment, I'm stationary, so yeah, I have some numbers changing, which is good. Right, oxygen sensor, bank 2 minus. Let me see if I have fuel trims, because if I have fuel trims here, evaporative emission system test not complete. Okay. CAN bus off, 0. Control module status, blah blah blah. Battery positive 3 volts. Okay, number of permanent, forget about that. Pressure, blah blah blah. Fuel trims. So the long-term fuel trims, they are a little bit, but these ones are actually good. Look, nearly, the short fuel trims are nearly close to 0. If these ones stays like this, they will start to come down as well. So obviously with those codes in there, it might be that's why they are like that, but they don't look too bad. Let me see when I whoa, look at that. Under acceleration, look at my bank 1. So I'm at 3000 RPMs, and look at bank 1. Let me rev a little bit more, 3,500. It's coming down actually. Let me idle now. Bank 1 minus 5%. Look. Okay, and I have my engine light on. or flashing. I never managed to get this before. Bank 2, 22%. Look at that. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Shoot, look at that. Okay, so can you see my foot is, I'm not even moving it. Can you see the RPMs changing every time the fuel trim changes? And there's a changing in the engine noise as well. Okay. So let me see if I have generated any more codes now. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. More codes. Random misfiring. 1, 3, 5. That random misfiring was not there. Bank 1. Fire. Okay. Okay, so I have an extra code now, which is random misfiring, but they are all on bank 1. They are all on bank 1. Okay, so let me see how I'm going to approach this. Okay, following day, and I have worked the rest of the day yesterday without recording anything else, because I started to think that my problem would be something that I'm not going to fix. So I will. Okay, let me take this through this and to make sure everything makes sense. So what I've done was the following. So you've seen all those misfires, and you have seen that all the misfires were on bank 1, so cylinder 1, 3 and 5. Bank 1 is the bank close to the firewall, so close to this side of the car. So what I've done is the following. So I went in there, and I could start to check for, I don't know, for injectors, for spark, all that stuff. But what I've done was the following. I removed the intake manifold, which is right at the top of the engine, and basically what I've done, guys, is that I've swapped every single spark plug, every single coil, and every single injector from bank 2 to bank 1. So I put everything that was on bank 1 on bank 2, and obviously and vice versa. All the stuff that was on bank 2 I put on bank 1. Then I went for a drive. And guess what? Everything came back on the same bank. But while I was driving the car, something at the start I didn't really thought too much about it, but it was noticeable that at around 3000 RPMs, when you put a little bit hard to the car and the load, was a rattling coming from somewhere in there, and I thought it would be one of the heat shields or something along those lines that would be loose and it would be rattling. But then, after coming back home, all the faults were still there. I thought, okay, so if it's not that, it's going to be one of the two now. It's going to be either my O2 sensors, it's going to be a compression problem, a mechanical problem, or it's going to be my cat. And that's where that rattling starts to come back up. I thought, hang on a minute. So what I've done, I managed to replicate the problem stationary just by revving the engine up to just before 3000. The light would start flashing, all those faults will come back, and and yeah, it would do that. Now, at this point, another thing that came back to my head was the fact that you guys remember when we have been analyzing the live data, bank 2 was adding a little bit of fuel. So what I think this fuel was doing was to compensate for the misfirings on bank 1, was obviously try to compensate that on bank 2 by obviously compensate the combustion and all that stuff. Anyway, it does have both readings, and I'm gonna now show you the readings on those a graphical reading of those two sensors. So as you can see, bank 2 is pretty much behaving the way it should. Okay, bank 1 is just going up and down too much. You can see that reading is wrong. The reading should be pretty much what bank 2 is doing. That's why it should be. So at this point, based on these readings, based on that rattling coming from the engine, from that area of the engine, which it looks to me that is that, I'm gonna call it a cut. Cut is gone. It's gonna have to be replaced. The problem is I'm not gonna do it myself. If it was bank 2, the one close to the bumper, I would probably do it. This one is just stuffed in between the firewall, and to gain access to it, you really need to do this from underneath. I can't see doing this myself here from the top and the bottom. I'm gonna have a look around the engine, see if there's any chance I could do this easily, but I think it's gonna have to go on an elevator to do this. Okay, I had a look around the engine bay and everything, and forget about it. To gain really access is gonna have to be from underneath, I believe. It's very tight in there. I could probably try to have a go at it, but the problem is, and I think some of you guys will understand this, it's going to take me way longer to do it, and then to charge what? While if it goes elsewhere, they can do this half of the time probably, and you will pay a little bit less, because then, you know, I'm not going to charge for the time I'm going to spend doing it just because I don't have the right conditions to do it. I can't charge more just because of that, can I? So that's going to be someone else doing it. But I'm really pleased that we have diagnosed this. So I don't know how useful this video is going to be to you guys, but I do hope there's some information here that can make sense, and some information that can help you guys. Another thing that I could do, I'm not going to do it because I'm 100% sure that the cut is broken. But if you guys are not 100% sure, another thing that I could do was scope the upstream and downstream sensor. And I'm pretty much convinced that they're going to be pretty much doing the same. They're going to be reading the same, which obviously means the cut is going to be broken, because if the cut is doing what it's supposed to be doing, you are not going to have the same readings before and after the cut. So that's another thing that I could do, was scope those signals. I'm not going to do it. It's just going to be a waste of time. I could do it for the video purpose, but there's really no point. It's going to be a broken cut. Special die rattling it leaves no doubts at all. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really hope there is some information here that somehow can help you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do still have any questions, any comments, put them below. And guys, like always, thanks so much for watching.